Good morning. Welcome to my thought for the day. And my thought starts with something I haven't mentioned yet, and that is that Proverbs 30 and Proverbs 31 are both chapters not written by Solomon. They are titled, one, the words of Agur, son of Jakeh of Massa, and the other, chapter 31, the words of Lemuel, king of Massa, which his mother taught him. We don't know where Massa is, if it is a real place, and we don't know anything about either of these people. But they have a chapter that has been included in the scriptures. And there's a thought even there, isn't there, that we might not know who those people are or where they've come from. But God did something in their lives that made their words lasting, and they have lasted right down through the centuries. And again, there is this wonderful thought that, it doesn't matter if we're not known by anybody else. If God knows us and knows us by name and knows what we do in his name to serve him and bless him, then we have a lasting name forever. We are valued, each one, just as Agur and Lemuel were valued by God. And it's some words from this chapter 30 of Agur's writings, verses 7 to 9. He says, 2 things I ask of thee. Deny them not to me before I die. Remove far from me falsehood and lying. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is needful for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and profane the name of my God. So, this man, I assume he's a man, this man says these things, and he wants to be honest, truthful, upright, faithful. He wants to not be caught up in any falsehood or lying. He's as straight as the die person, and that's a wonderful aspiration, so that nothing about you is false. But he then says, verse 8 really says, and 9 really says, please keep me on the right path. Don't give me too much wealth, because if I'm wealthy and I'm rich, I may turn against God. I may not rely on God. I may say, well, who needs God? I'm rich. I made it. I don't need God's help. And he doesn't want to be poor, because if he's poor, he may end up being forced to steal. And if he steals, he will have sinned against God. He will have profaned the name of God. And people will look at him and say, well, he's not much. His God, what's this all about? His God isn't able to look after him, and so therefore he's stealing. And God's name will be profaned. He asks for enough, not too little, not too much. And it reminds me of that verse. I think it's in Peter or James, not sure. Oh, I do know. Godliness with contentment is great gain. I know where that is. It's Timothy, actually. It's 1 Timothy 6:6. Godliness with contentment is great gain. We don't want too much. If you've got too much, give it away. We don't want too little, because that says to the world, the God we trust to provide for us hasn't been able to do it. We want enough to be comfortable, enough to be content, enough to do what we need to do to serve the Lord, but not so much that we turn away from God and say, well, I don't need God. Because I think this man realized that, if we're more likely to seek God when things go badly, when things are difficult. And when things are really comfortable and really easy, most people forget God. Now, that shouldn't be true, and I hope it's not true. Don't let it be true in your life. If everything's going swimmingly for you at the moment, use these days to cultivate a close relationship with God so that when difficulties do arise, you don't have a problem getting back into relationship with God. But I like these thoughts of this man. He just wants to be upright and honest. He wants to serve the Lord faithfully. He wants enough to eat each day. He doesn't want too much and he doesn't want too little. He just wants to be able to live his life faithfully serving God. And that is a wonderful aspiration. He wants to prove God's faithfulness, but he doesn't want God to bless him to the point where he feels he doesn't need God. It's a lovely thought. Read those verses again. Chapter 30, verses 7 to 9, and think about godliness with contentment. 1 Timothy 6:6. Godliness with contentment is great gain. And that word contentment is a very rich word. It's the living out what we pray every time we pray the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. It doesn't say anything about riches or plenty. It says our daily bread. And bread, by definition, is the staple food of our society. It's the baseline. If you've got enough bread to eat, you'll survive. It's the baseline. It's not riches. And we ask each day, when we say the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. And the proof of it is when we have the food that is needful for us. That's all. We don't have to live in luxury or riches. In fact, a lot of Proverbs has said, don't eat rich food, don't have too much. This will not be good for you. So, that's my thought for today. We're nearly at the end of Proverbs. Pray for me, please, as I seek the Lord over what to read, what to look at next when we finish Proverbs. I never quite know what the Lord wants us to go on to, but pray with me over the next few days that I'll know what we should go on to. Have a great day. Be very blessed. And I'll see you again tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, bye-bye.